When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those unseen?
He says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means. God. He says, Mom, I know it's hard for you to think about. Guess what? He says, where's Rach?
Oh.
Where's Rach? That's his sister. Where's Rach? He comes in and he puts his hands on your shoulders and he says, I miss you. I miss you, Mel. You are a real firecracker. He has a hard time keeping up with you.
You skeptic? Did you believe?
I see departed souls and I'm able to communicate with them. I get messages from beyond, from your lost loved ones. You may be surprised at what they have to say.
Who came in first for you, Teresa?
That would be my mom's mom.
Teresa, there's a lady on the left. It's either mother or grandmother. So I have to ask you, is your mom passed?
No.
Then I'm gonna bump it back to grandmother. She thinks you're something else. She tells me you're on your good behavior tonight. That typically you laugh, you have a good time.
It's like right after her. She's the same way.
Well, she's something else. And she says that you're a part of who she is. And actually, she's an angel or a spirit guide that watches out for you. I'm telling you. And I have a dad or granddad for you too. I don't know if there were push-pulls on the paternal side of the family. Were there? Because this gentleman has a white peace flag.
The family's been feuding for a while over things that really are frivolous.
And what that says to me is, all is forgiven, we're at peace, everything's fine, Teresa, all right? Is Dad on earth? Because his health, this is not to upset, his health is gonna take a slight downhill turn. He needs to have a physical, blood pressure's mentioned, heart is mentioned, respiratory's mentioned. And it wouldn't hurt him to get a PSA test, which is the prostate, okay? But he has this, why are you rolling your eyes?
He's already had heart problems.
Yes. Now, it doesn't
And
mean
he's diabetic.
I do have a younger male energy coming through. So it's somebody that would be connected to all of you, younger male, comes in behind Mom and actually says, Mom, dry your tears, it's Rye. Ryan Rye. I don't know if he wants
Ryan.
to. Okay. He wants to lean down and give you all a kiss.
That's Ryan.
And he says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means.
God.
He says, thanks. Because he says, I received them in heaven. And he tells me you watched them go as high and far as they could. And I don't know where this was, but he says they just stood there and I was looking down at them and they were even saying, let's see how high and how far they go and I hope they reach Ryan.
The way that my husband and I decided to tell my children about Ryan's passing was he went and bought 4 balloons and we wrote all of our favorite things to do with Ryan and why we love Ryan so much. And we wrote them all on the balloon and went out on our back deck and sent them skyward.
He's received all of them because he comes in with all of these helium balloons. He says, Mom, I know it's hard for you to think about because you've prayed for me almost every day of my life. At Thanksgiving, did you hold hands?
Yeah. He usually was the one to say grace. So we just had a moment of silence so that we could hear him say grace, just feel it.
He says he was saying grace from heaven and he was sending it down to you. And I do have to say, he calls you Aunt Jen.
That's right.
And he tells me, Jennifer, he'll watch over your kids for you. He'll watch over your boys for you. And guess what? He says, where's Rach?
Oh.
Where's Rach? That's his sister. Where's Rach? Well, he says, wait, she has seen me, he says. Either in dreams, I don't know if she's seen him in dreams or if she's seen him, I don't know where, but she's actually seen him. He's trying to appear. He says, now, Amy might be scared if I appear to her. He says, but Rach wouldn't be. And he's been celebrating the month of November. See, he mentioned holding hands around the Thanksgiving table, but there were other things in November because he's literally been with you the whole month of November.
There's a lot of
Rachel's
birthdays in
birthday.
November.
Whose birthday would it have been then?
Rachel's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Her 21st.
That's a big one. He says now she can drink. Did he ever drink bottles of beer or no? I don't think he drank a lot.
No.
But he raised one for her 21st birthday. And he says, and you too, Aunt Jen. And he does salute. He shows me red, white, and blue.
He's a soldier.
And that can also mean the month of July, red, white, and blue, because you know you have the 4th of July.
And that's when he passed. It's
Ju-
his birthday.
His birthday and his passing month.
12 days apart.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
One day after my son's birthday, 2 days before his father's birthday.
Oh my
And
goodness.
on my sister's birthday.
So there's so much energy in that month. He shows me the American flag flying behind you. So at the funeral, there may have been something at the gravesite, or I don't know, something with the flag. You
It
understand?
was a military service.
Okay. He's the type that would go out if somebody was wounded and literally carry them back.
Absolutely.
He was like an angel on earth. If somebody had a flat tire, he'd stop and help them jack up their car and fix the tire. I mean, that's how I feel about him. Mom, we're best friends, he says, don't forget.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it? Oh, thank you so much. I have to go over here with Amy. You were the love of his life, honey. And he says, welcome to the family. He has a velvet box with a ring in it. I don't know if you ever talked about marriage, but did you?
Yes.
I think he was going to propose soon because he has a velvet box. He lifts the lid. I'm not going to call you my girlfriend. I'm going to call you my wife because you're a part of this family, he says. And he heard me say before you sat down that I said, you look like a fairy. He says, or a butterfly. Isn't that funny? He wants to put butterfly wings on you. Does that make sense?
Butterflies all the time. I see butterflies.
She sees butterflies all the time.
Really?
Even in the winter, she sees them.
A moth flew in the shower with me last night while I was taking a shower, and I saw a brown butterfly last week when it was really cold outside.
So you had one in the shower with you?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, let me tell you, of all the symbols, a butterfly is a real strong metaphysical symbol because the cocoon is the physical body and the butterfly represents the soul that is free. And he says he's free, but he has heartstrings that go to each and every one of you. And he says, I'm the one sending you the butterflies, Aim. In fact, he shows me wings. Did you do something with the wings or a wing?
I have a tattoo.
Yeah.
With the wing? He knows about it then.
It's his initial with the one wing.
He says, well, you could have put 2 wings on there. He says, I'm flying crooked now. That's his personality. That's what he would, that's how he talks. He's working in heaven with those that come over quickly in accidents, that he's a hero in heaven. I don't know if you've ever called him a hero, but he says, I'm a hero in heaven.
All the time.
He says Now, I want to tell you all, when someone's about to be in an accident, I come down with the angels and help them get to heaven. So he's even working on the other side.
He was in a car accident. That's how he was killed.
And I know you look at his picture every day, he tells me.
I kiss it every day. It's
You
right
look
on the
at it, you hold it up,
refrigerator.
and you say, please be with me, please be with me. Why did this happen? And he's like, Mom, I am with you. I'm with you all the time. I'm in your heart. I'll never leave. And he's thanking you, Aunt Jen, for being there for his mother. You went over and above the call of duty. Now, isn't that funny the way he says that? I haven't heard that in years. That's an old saying, but I think because he was in the military, you went over and above the call of duty for her. Did he eat macaroni and cheese ever?
We always eat macaroni and cheese
Are
at
you
my
kidding?
house.
At her house.
That's my favorite thing to eat.
Do you make, I don't know, but he says mac and cheese, mac and cheese.
We always made boxes of macaroni and cheese.
You're not only his girl, you're the love of his life, you're his treasure, you're his prize, and you're a member of the family. And he wants you to always know that you have an aunt here, that you have a mother here, and that you are all united. But you are his soulmate. And he says, Amy, life goes on though. He wants you to know that even though you were so bonded and connected, eventually there'll be somebody else for you. And what's interesting, honey, he doesn't want you to compare the next boyfriend to him. It's gonna be easier said than done, but he's gonna help you with that. He says, everybody just stay cool, stay easy, stay light. Smile, Mom, smile, he says. He doesn't only blow you a kiss, he comes around and he strokes your hand. He hugs you, he kisses you on the cheek. He said, I picked the best mom in the whole world. And again, he says, best friends.
After you have a reading with Michele, and after you've heard all the things that she had to say, how do you feel about having a reading? We'll start with you, Amy.
It's just so confirming that he's just with us each and every day at every moment. Like with the butterflies, I mean, it just made my heart drop.
Aunt Jen, how do you feel after having a reading?
I thought it was absolutely amazing. I haven't been very emotional because I've been trying to be very supportive. And for him to acknowledge that I've been very helpful, it really made me feel good.
And Teresa, there's nothing like losing a child. How does it feel as a mother to have your son be right here with you during a reading and be able to communicate with him? How do you feel when you leave this reading, and how do you go forward?
I feel comfort. I feel relieved that he's okay, he's happy, and that he's with us. Because I didn't know, I had no closure. He was the love of my life. He was my baby, and he knows that.
He comes in and he puts his hands on your shoulders and he says, I miss you, Mel. And he says, and damn it, you better miss me.
Attract what you want in life. Learn more about your evolutionary soul journey. Gain in-depth knowledge about metaphysical concepts.
Start with Messages from Beyond. It's a spiritual guidebook that talks about the soul journey. Everything you've ever wanted to know is in this book. It's Spirituality 101.
Messages from Beyond, a spiritual guidebook. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.
The human soul retains its mind, personality, and memory bank. So when souls come through to talk to me, I'll see them as they looked when they were on Earth. It's a translucent look. I can actually see through them. With Melanie's mother, she came in a robe and curlers, which was unusual, but that was her personality. She's a trip. She comes in with rollers in her hair. She has bedroom slippers on. She has a robe on. She says, Melanie, I am not getting dressed up for this. That's how she talks.
You a skeptic? Did you believe?
I wanted to believe, but I was still skeptic.
Is there any German anywhere?
Yes.
On your mama's side?
Some on my mother's, but mostly on my father's.
Okay, because she might be bringing him through if he's passed. But she feels German to me, like she had a mind of her own. Once she made up her mind, she wouldn't change it. She said what she thought. She was a real character. For her to come in her robe and bedroom slippers and rollers in her hair, and she's like checking your hair, she says, why don't you curl it a little bit?
She might, because I always straighten it.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have naturally wavy or curly hair?
I have natural curly hair.
She likes that.
She does.
She remembers you as a little girl with these beautiful curls. Not like Shirley Temple. She said she could never be that good.
No, that's correct.
And your mother is thanking you for trying to be there for her. Isn't that interesting the way she says that? I feel edema. I feel poor circulation.
She had edema and it ended with her heart.
And her legs hurt her.
Yes.
I'm also hearing a diabetic condition along with that. So then I have a grandmother through. That would be your dad's mother?
My dad's mother.
Is there anybody that you were a little nervous would show up? Because some people are afraid and they've got fears.
My grandmother, Minnie, my dad's mom.
And Minnie showed up.
Minnie showed up.
She's here along with your dad. And he says, what do you think about that?
My dad was an only child, so her whole life revolved around my dad. That he's here with my grandmother, you don't want your mother with you all the time. Yes.
Or just coming through to say hi.
Well, that's true. That too, yes. She came with my dad. He did not come with her. So.
You are a real firecracker. He has a hard time keeping up with you. The grandmother's cute too, the diabetic one. She looks at your mother, well, I'm not coming in on a bathrobe in here.
Yeah,
she says.
And that would be right.
She has to be dressed fairly neat.
Yes.
She has a purse, a pocketbook, your grandmother.
Yes,
now,
always.
I don't know if her mind is coming and going, but sometimes that's a symbol for everything's in order in heaven. I'm in control. She wants you to know she's in control. Now, there is a gentleman stepping in behind you. He doesn't want to come dressed up either. This is a man who's very relaxed. He comes in and he puts his hands on your shoulders and he says, I miss you. I miss you, Mel. And he says, and damn it, you better miss me. That's straightforward. He says, I got a truck in heaven. And he says, it's brand new. And he says, I like to drive it all around.
When Michele said that he got his truck, that I knew he was here.
There's a truck issue. I don't know if his truck wasn't working, he didn't have. Did he have a truck? Let me put it this way.
He wanted a truck so bad. He just for years talked about getting a truck. We have to get a truck. Every house needs a truck. We were getting through this year with his Jeep, and next year we were buying a truck.
Well, guess what? He comes in. You gotta believe. Now he's getting stronger. He's getting louder. You gotta believe, he says. You should see this. He said, my truck on wheels. Even the wheels are fancy. Do you have a son too?
I do.
Because he's trying to influence your son, and it doesn't have to do, Melanie, with self-esteem. It has to do with life in general. He has become a spirit guide of your sons. He's trained to be a helper. A spirit guide is actually a human soul that trains to be our helpers from the other side. When we get over, of course, you know, the bond of love is never broken, so therefore we choose to watch over one or two relatives still on earth. In Melanie's case, her husband actually chose their son and their grandbaby girl. There is a precious wee one, probably born by now, I'm not sure. Your husband's talking about a little grandchild. He loves that baby.
He loves her.
Loves that baby. Little girl then. And I watch out for her too.
Yes, she talks to him. She says she talks to Pap.
Well, see, here's the thing with this Pap issue. Children between 1 to 5 in the formative years, they can see the other realms. They can see spirit. Because their soul hasn't been in their body very long, Pap plays with her. He talks to her. If she's on a play phone, hi, Pap. How you doing, Pap? He's in her room a lot. And he tucks her in at night.
And I believe that.
He kisses her on the cheek. He's a very loving type of person.
Yes.
And he tells me he'll be with you in June. I don't know what that means, but he'll be with you in June.
Do angels exist? Do they accompany us on our journeys through life? Do departed loved ones continue to watch over and at times communicate with us?
Miraculous Encounters is over 100 true stories of people's experiences with angels and the other side. There are 10 different ways that the spirit realms communicate.
Miraculous Encounters, true stories of experiences with angels and departed loved ones. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.
He tells me he'll be with you in June. I don't know what that means, but he'll be with you in June.
It's our anniversary.
There's the little tinkle bells. Would you do me a favor, Mel? What he says, would you go somewhere for our anniversary? Because when you go, he says, my bags are packed too. I'll be going with you. Camping, he liked the woods. He's in the happy hunting grounds, he says. Isn't that weird?
Yes, because that's what he liked.
Did he?
Yes.
He has deer bologna.
Yes, he does. I'm sure he does.
He has, I don't know what, a log of deer bologna.
Yes.
And he wants to give it to you in memory of him.
I don't want it.
Because he liked to eat.
Venison, and I wouldn't let him make it in the house because I didn't like the smell of it.
Right. So
But
he can make it in heaven.
he can make it
And he
now.
says he's in the happy hunting ground. He says the only sad part is I can't eat it. He liked to win things, whether it was trophies or a fish, reeling it in, or a buck or whatever. I don't know if he ever wanted to mount anything, but I just feel like he felt good about himself when he was able to get a prize.
He caught a white pike or an albino pike or something, and my son had it mounted. And the last year they went, they were picking it up, and he says, I'm going to have to pay for that because he's not going to pay for it. I said, okay.
Now, did you have something made in his honor, like a necklace or some kind of he's trying to push through what it is. Did you have something done?
I did. I have a thumbprint necklace. I had thumbprint necklaces made because my last name is Star, and this one came with a star.
Oh, he's funny. He says, my hand's right on your chest.
Yeah.
There was a lot of joking around
Yes.
with you. I mean,
Yes.
You were the love of his life. I feel camping, I feel trips, I feel fun. I feel he went out fairly quickly.
He did.
I'm feeling pressure here, my dear. Like I have to do this. So it could have been heart respiratory or something traveled quickly because it's such a shock for you, Melanie. It was such a shock
Yes.
factor. And he said, my timeline was up, baby. I could be with you for years and years, but you need to hear my timeline was up. And he says, I'm gonna send you another man. I know you don't wanna hear this. He says, I'm gonna pick him out for you. You will not grow old alone, my dear. I do have to say that to you. There's gonna be another man. He calls it the big catch, the new man. Does that sound like him? Because he's a character.
It does, because I would tell him he would have to mourn me forever. And he would say, well, you have to mourn me forever. And I'd say, yeah, okay. We were married almost 22 years and almost half my life. And I just can't even imagine anybody else, that it's always just gonna be him.
You have any questions seriously for your husband?
I want him to know I did the best I could for him when he was sick. And I know he knows that, but I worry about that.
He says you did the best, and he tells me it wasn't easy because you didn't want to show emotion. You were trying to be strong for him. He was trying to be strong for you. And he says, you may not be a nurse. This is his personality. He says, but your heart was in it, and you were there for me. He's a type of man, he didn't like hospitals. He didn't want needles. He didn't want any fanfare. He didn't want people, over him.
He did not, no.
He just wanted to have peace. And he says, I'll always love you, Mel. And he says, I'm in true peace now. He's finally home. But you did keep his chair. You did keep his chair, I hope.
I gave it to my son.
Well, you kept it, though.
Yeah,
you kept it in family.
I made
Because he
him
says,
take
at
it.
least you didn't auction it off. I mean,
Yeah.
I got to stop with him because he could go on all night.
Yeah.
He literally wants to come over here and sit down next to you and put his arm around you. He says, I'm tired of standing in the back of her. He says, I want to come down and hold my love. So God bless you. I hope that helps you, my dear.
It does.
Does it make you a little bit more of a believer?
Yes, because there were some things you could have never have known.
How do you feel coming in as a skeptic and leaving with all of these people giving you messages?
It's heartwarming. And because of things that were said, that there's no way Michele could have known that. So now I'm not a skeptic.
Did she know that I was in the hospital room with her?
She tells me you stroked her hand or you stroked her wrist and you squeezed your hand and you said, Mama, Mother, please, Mother, can you hear me? Now he says, Mom, release any guilt. I don't know why he's saying that. I think you have felt if I could have helped somehow, maybe I should have done something. And he says, no, I had to do what I had to do.